All right, so next video in the series, like the title says, it's going to be from frozen back straps. So got whole tenderloins. When I froze them, just put them in their hole. So we're going to try it, right? We're going to fire up the grill, throw them straight on, get a sear on them, and indirect heat them until medium-ish, season them up, and see how they go. So stay tuned. Okay, so get the package open. Gonna go start the grill. Throw them on just like that. Assume the heat will likely break them apart. Once I get them apart, once I sear the first side, unlike I did with the steak, I think I'm going to season them once the first side gets seared, see how they accept the seasoning. So we'll see how it goes. So at the grill, the good thing, one of the good things about this method is you really don't have to let your grill get super hot like you would a normal sear. Just want to make you scrape, make sure you get all the loose bits off of your grill. Decently clean grill, you don't have to be obsessive about it. I pressure wash mine out every year or so. Other than that, just throw them right on high heat, close it up, and that'll let that start thawing out, breaking apart. As soon as we can get them apart, we'll get them apart for airflow and sear, and throw some seasoning on them. Today I'm just going to use seasoned salt, pepper, garlic powder, something basic. Kids like it better. May make a little sauce to go on top after we cook them, so we eat them with that. I don't know. Gonna sear them as hot as I can. Grill's up on high. Everything's high. Sear them as hot as I can. Once I get a good color on the outside, I'll turn it down and run it on low to let the meat come up to temp and thaw out the rest of the way. It worked well on the steak. I'm really interested to see how it's going to go on this, but we'll just kind of keep playing along and see how it goes. It's going to be interesting, so I'll try to show you all the steps along the way. All right, so not gonna lie, really doesn't look that appetizing right now, right? Still frozen together, just kind of working on getting them where they'll break apart. But it should turn out pretty well, hopefully, once we get everything broke. The important thing is with deer is take care of it on the front end, right? So we salt brine ours essentially in a cooler. We just soak them for a couple of days in ice water, rotating out the water, and that helps get a lot of that blood out. People that say they don't like venison, one, they don't take care of it on the front end, and two, they cook it way too much. So medium should be all you need, and outside of that, simple basic seasoning makes for a much better flavor. Okay, they're not broke up yet, but we're starting to get some brown. So I'm going to go ahead and season what I can. May not be able to get all the seasoning on there, but get a good coat on that top edge. Let it start kind of breaking in. A little windy today. That's fine. You know, grilling's not an exact science. You don't have to be exact. Usually I use fresh pepper. I'm going to use this today because of how much is blowing around. Just ground pepper. It'll be fine. So I'd like to be able to break them up here shortly so I can get the rest of it done. So I'm going to work on that, and hopefully they should be not much further along. And once I get them broke up, I'll kind of show you where we're at. Okay, so a little bit of hands. Got them broke apart. These, the back straps, not hard at all. Two main seams really to break apart, not a big deal. The tenderloins, because they're so soft and because there's so much surface area kind of together, they didn't break up as easy. So might want to separate them a little better when you freeze them, just so you don't tear them apart. You can see That one I kind of tore up a little bit. It'll eat. It'll be fine. This part actually went to this one. So, not as clean as for presentation's sake, if that's what you care about. But, overall, got them all apart, so that's good. I'm going to finish seasoning all the sides, make sure they're good and seasoned. Keep working on the crust a little bit. Close the grill so it can be heating more even. And work on getting that crust, and then start checking the temps as it goes. Again, we're shooting for 130, 135. Want it pretty rare, like a good rare steak. So we'll update you as we get along. About got them seasoned, so now we'll close up the grill, let it get good and hot, and work on that next part. Alright, looking a lot better. Color's getting better. Grill's warm enough. The wind obviously is impacting it a little bit. Those are really softening up. That's the chef's piece right there. Color's looking good, season's good. We'll see where we're at temp wise. I would say that tenderloins would be ready anytime, but we're going to sear them well and then move them off, turn this side down so they can just kind of sit there and warm. And then these I could still use a little more color on. I'd be pretty happy about it. So working on the crust on these. About to move these over to kind of finish out. But color's looking good. Smells amazing. And keep those pieces for me. See how they work up. There's your low on that side, full on this side for the sear, and keep bringing them up to temp gently, indirect. So I'm pretty excited. It's working really well. No prep whatsoever. Pull them out of a frozen pack, throw them on. The tenderloins were better. They were flat packed a little better. The tenderloins were just kind of together. So make sure when you freeze your stuff, if this is something you're going to do, to go ahead and set it up with that in mind. I do have a roast that's seasoned when I stored it. I'm going to try that sous vide probably, just to kind of see flavor wise if there's any, if it concentrates the flavors or anything else. So I don't know, just trying to figure this thing out. Overall, like I said, the steak, you can go back and watch the flat iron video that we cooked straight from frozen. I think this will work well. The seasoning seems to be adhering just fine, so I was kind of nervous about that the last time we did the video, but overall, pretty excited. All right, the smaller chef's piece. Really good flavor. Super juicy. I'm excited to see how the rest of them turn out, but nothing wrong with that. Okay. Color's getting a lot better. I'm gonna try this piece again. Set it there to cool off. So far, my grill's not running as hot as I'd like. The wind's kind of messing with it, and I open it, closes a bunch. But we're getting there. So I don't know if it'll pick that up. Good and medium-ish. Flavor-wise, real good. I may just eat those tenderloins all myself. Okay. I'll be really interested to see how the back straps slice, how they cook. That's phenomenal. So, yeah, a couple of these, like this one, could use a little more color. I'm going to put them over the heat again. That one's doing just fine, but I wouldn't mind to have a little more sear on that one as well. These are doing well. Look at the color on him. That's already a lot better. I'm trying to just sear all the sides. But like these big pieces, they're not gonna take long. They're probably okay to eat just any time, but I want a little better sear and to make sure that they don't get too done, but I don't want them frozen either. I think we're getting really close. Let's check the temp on the big one. Let's see where we're at. Put it in the fatter side. Yeah, see, we're still really cold, 40. So still frozen in the middle, which is good. That's what you want. Another thing, you do want to keep them flipped with decent regularity to keep from having them cook too much gradient, and work through letting them come up to temp gradually, consistently. So we'll shut it down, put this thing on low, and let that thing do its thing, indirectly, of course. Okay, another 7-ish minutes. Color's looking really good on these. I've moved all the smaller ones over on this side, kind of keep them together. I'm sure they're done just about any time. The good thing about this method is, it appears anyway, that it's extremely forgiving. So we're going to see where this one's at. Feels better. Okay, so it's at 90. That one's at 105-ish. So we're starting to go up. It's working, it's doing its job. Trust the process. Take a breath, don't rush it. It'll all turn out okay. So we're just about there, which is good because pretty sure I'm about to run out of gas. I'm starting to smell it. Still working for now, so I've moved stuff over on this side. Got the airplanes. Every day, FedEx. Every day. Got the parts that need done. A little bit more over here. And temp on these. Yeah, let's see, they're right where you want to be, 138-ish. So really just about right on these small pieces. So I've turned the heat off under them. They're just kind of warming, staying warm over here. This piece, still a little bit rare, right in the middle. This one is 125, so it's anytime. It's still pretty rare. But if I need to finish them out, I'll finish them out in the oven if I run out of gas. But overall, small pieces cooked really well. Big pieces didn't cook bad either. So we'll see how they finish out. See where we're at. Got these two over the heat. Turned up the heat a little bit. Let's see, 130-ish. That'll continue to rest up just a little. And that one's 119. So just a few degrees lower. What I've got these two burners on pretty well high. This one on medium and this one off. I'm going to move this one a little bit on the medium zone. Turn these just to make sure that they shouldn't really be cooking, but just to kind of redistribute the moisture. Make sure that they don't just lose too much. So we'll just keep letting this thing coast, and shouldn't take too much longer now. All right, still running about 350. These are all but done. These over here are done. I'm just finishing out this one here, so shouldn't take too long. We're working through it. Pretty excited. Really curious how this thing's gonna taste. So just trying to be patient as possible. You don't want to pull it off too soon. You want to make sure that you let it get done. Other than that, color-wise, really nice. See there? Now we're at about 130. So that will rest up a few more degrees. That one's done. It's time to pull them. Take them in, let them rest 5-10 minutes, and cut into them. Quick tip. When you're done cooking, you got all this crust and gunk and everything built up, turn your grill all on high for 5-10 minutes. Close the lid, let it get as hot as it can. Then use your scraper, whatever that is. Don't use a wire brush. Just don't. I've got this paddle, this wood paddle. It works really well. 5-10 minutes, let that stuff burn, and then scrape it off. That's literally all you have to do. It doesn't take a long time. If you do that after you get done cooking, the next time you go to cook, it's ready, right? So, hot tip, it's the way to go. All right, so it's been running for a few minutes. Wooden paddles. Can't remember the first place I seen one of these. I've had this one for quite a few years. What happens is that leading edge kind of burns into the grates. And you just scrape it off. And that just comes right off. Works a little better with two hands, but it's not bad. And that gets those crusty bits off your grates, so your next food doesn't taste like your last food, and you don't have as many flare-ups. That goes down where it's supposed to be instead of being all up on your grates. Simple as that. Took what, 15 seconds? So get you a sponge. They make those high temp sponges. Get you one of these. You're not looking for it to be crystal clean. You just want the crusty bits off so you have a nice even cooking surface. Color doesn't matter, right? That's just burn on oil, seasoning, whatever, but it doesn't have any big crusty bits. That'll give your favorite food some off-put flavors, right? Okay, cut into a few of these. Try two. So get this one of the big ones. A couple of these dried out. The ones that I had torn, they dried out a little bit. Not bad, but they just won't be quite as together as the ones I didn't tear. So those look really good. I'm going to sample a few, cut into a few of them. Just going to see what overall color looks like. They've rested 5-ish minutes, but cut them open and see what they look like.